Now, the downswing sequence is one of the most complicated motions in all sports, and unfortunately we see a lot of golfers at the driving range struggle with this movement and spend hours and hours trying to perfect this movement when it actually only takes half a second to do. So in this video I wanted to show you a 5-second drill you can do that makes your downswing sequence automatic. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new, I'm Harry, a golf teacher professional posting content just like this every single week to help golfers improve their game. So consider clicking that subscribe button as there's lots more content coming your way and it's completely free to do. So to set up for success with this drill, it's really important that we have two things in our backswing to help us perform this movement straight away. The first one is all to do with adding more width in the backswing. Too many golfers, I'll see this at the driving range, they'll set up and swing backwards with their hands going very close to the body. So their reaction, the downswing, isn't going to be automatic because they've got to react and push the club outwards, and that's when we get that casting motion taking place. So you're going to take a split grip like this here and set up as normal with the club shaft directly parallel with your body alignment. And to begin this golf swing, there's two things that you're going to do, and this brings in the second part as well. So you're going to push those hands, feel like you're pushing those hands as far away from you as possible, and look what this also allows me to do here. It allows me to perform this rotation, add more depth into the very top of the backswing. That's the second crucial key element that we want to get into the top of the backswing. Too many golfers will get up to the top of the swing with limited depth, and that'll cause them to get too steep onto the golf ball, too over the top again. So that's no good either. We want to make sure, like the pros do every single time, start to push our hands away, create this width, but also allow ourselves just to twist and rotate into the very top of the swing there. For me, a good simple feel is feeling like my trail shoulder works upwards as my trail hip works round and away from the golf ball. So adding those two things, pushing those hands away, that really helps me get set into a great backswing position to make this downswing sequence automatic, and that brings us into the drill. Now the drill, you're going to take that split grip, the same split grip, and make your way up to the top of the swing, feeling those two movements. And the first thing you want to do from the very top of the backswing is add pressure into the ground, squat into the ground using both feet. We're not going to apply any rotation just yet into the downswing. And from this point here, we're going to bring the club down like so. So we can see here the way the club is set. It sets it ever so slightly more behind the hands, which is great. Allows us to get a bit more shallower. As we're pressing into the ground, it's going to allow us to get into a great delivery position to make contact with the golf ball. And when you practice this, I want you to do this hard. I want you to really encourage a lot more speed, a lot more power, a lot more strength added into this downswing motion. The downswing only takes half a second, so let's make the most of getting that speed up in that downswing. So from the top, we're going to be pressing into the ground, feeling like we're squatting down, at the same time bringing the club down like so. And the question I bet you're thinking is, as you're doing this really quick, why? You're squatting down so much, you're probably going to more likely hit the ground, aren't you, when you start practicing this all in one motion? Not exactly. For every force acted on a stationary object, so think of it in golf as the feet working against the ground being the stationary object, there is always an equal and opposite force reacting upon it. So the more pressure you can apply into the ground, the harder you can get this arm movement down into the slot, the more we can push back upwards to then make great contact with the golf ball. In reaction to this, we're always going to want to push back upwards like so. And look at the way my shoulders are moving here. Look at the way my body's moving here. And this is all automatic. Once you set yourself into that position to make contact with the golf ball, you have to do that movement. You have to allow these arms to straighten up. You have to bring this handle upwards. You have to push upwards from the ground to make contact with the golf ball. We are forming the correct reaction to make this downswing sequence automatic. So once you get to the top, straight down, feeling like you're snapping that shaft, feeling that head move and waggle a little as we press into the ground, as we push our hands down into the slot, into the position to then push up into the back of the golf ball. So once you've practiced that in stages a couple of times, I want you to build this into one motion using your grip, just your normal grip like this here. Once you get to the very top of the swing, the first initial move is the squatting down. You want to get as low as you can, exaggerating this move like this here. And for me there, it looks like I'm going very, very low. And the lower you do this, the better, because in your brain, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to hit the ground first. But what happens, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to push up and react to this to make good contact, to help you perform that correct downswing sequence, just like we see all the tour players do, where they'll have that squat into the downswing, they'll see the club shallowing out beautifully like we've been working on, and from this point here, they'll push upwards as we hit the golf ball. And it's going to feel ridiculous when you do this, going downwards so much and then having to propel yourself back up. And it's going to get to a point where we want you to start smoothing it out, taking it a little bit easier, just so that we can time this movement really well, hitting the golf ball. So setting up into your posture, normal setup, working your way up to the top of the swing, feeling that motion and pushing off. Doing this nice and slow, just to begin with the 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you go, that's the feel. We're getting into the ground and we're pushing upwards like so. So once you've gotten used to this, you can start to build this up into faster swings. Hitting a couple of pretty good shots there, all in one motion. First, start off in stages, working your way down, hitting the golf ball like we did earlier, building it up into all in one motion swings, and there you have it. The 5-second drill is going to make your downswing sequence automatic. And the reason why it's automatic is it sets you in the great position, loads of power, loads of pressure into the ground with that great delivery position. All you have to do from there is push upwards to make great contact with the golf ball and see that club face nice and square as well. So if you've come this far, I'd highly recommend clicking that subscribe button, as there's lots more content coming your way. This video has been brought to you by GX Golf, who provide high quality golf gloves at a fraction of the price in comparison to their competitors on the market. Using my code Harry10 and all the other codes in the description below, you can get yourself great discounts off those gloves and other products on the market. And if you're looking for more great tips to help you with this downswing sequence, I'd highly recommend checking out this video over here.